Well, hey to everyone. This video is now in session. I'm your host, the Baccarat Coach, and this video has now started. Yeah, I just wanted to give an introduction to how I discovered about the game of Baccarat. I started playing Baccarat in about, I want to say 2016. It was 2016. I remember when I first found the game, I didn't know anything about it. You know, I was online. I was playing, European Roulette. I was playing sports. I remember, I'm not telling you where, but I remember when I got on my first online website, or when I signed up to my first one, it was mainly for sports betting, because that was what I started doing off and on around 2013, 2014. That was when I started, I met somebody and they introduced me to betting sports. That's a long story that I may get into someday down the road if I can remember. But for the most part, yeah, I started with sports. Then when I got this online website, I found the live tables, and I played European Roulette and some blackjack. That was actually all they offered. They offered blackjack, European Roulette, American Roulette, and Baccarat. And I knew the rules of how to play the other games, but I did not know how to play Baccarat. And it interested me. I was a little curious about it because the way the cards come out of the shoe, the placement of the cards, it was a little different for me. It was kind of intimidating because I didn't understand why they were being placed. What constituted 2 as to given 3. And that's where I was at that time. No fault of my own or anybody else's. I was new and I was discovering the game. Which, European Roulette was my first love of the casino. The first game I ever enjoyed or really knew a whole lot about. I mean, yes, I'm not very good at it. I mean, it was fun to play at a lot of different times. I had some adventures with it for sure. But yet, learning about Baccarat, I found a couple of Baccarat channels on YouTube in 2016. I didn't know a lot about even YouTube back then. There were some things about YouTube I didn't know about, I didn't know how to do. I had a YouTube account back then, which is this account, but I didn't know how to record content. I wasn't out there like that, kind of like I am now. But, I downloaded an app, about 2 or 3 different apps for playing Baccarat. I downloaded a couple of apps, and that was really how I got comfortable with it. I understood it. Once I got the gist of the rules and understood the game, I got it. Then it's like, okay, now I can play. And just like everything else, I mean, it took some time. It took some time to understand everything about it that I know now. Took me a while to understand, how to read a scoreboard, how to follow the game, how to make, wise decisions, how to make reasonable, logical decisions. It took me a while to get myself in sync with that. And, slowly over a period of time, I came up with my 3-step program, which is, 2 or 3 years old on my channel. I even made it on a playlist. If you're having problems finding it, I created it on my YouTube playlist. But, getting back to the other, it took me, I will say, 2 or 3 weeks to really learn how to play Baccarat. It took me a few weeks to learn about it. But once I got it, I was squared. I was ready to go. I started, doing better at that than I have, anything else I've ever done. I mean, I still, am learning a few new things all the time about it. I'm still, trying to set myself on what is my best way to play. I mean, my 3-step program is my bread and butter. That's my main thing I do, but I still like to learn a couple of new things to go with it, where I'm not just boring myself doing the same thing all the time, and where, others watching me play get bored doing the same thing all the time, whether it's, the website I play on or making a video for my audience. It's not good to just do the same thing every single solitary time. But it is wise to find a solid way to play, develop yourself, get comfortable with that solid way of play, and then develops what you call consistency, which I'm going to make some notes later and for me to do a video on consistency. I already got a list of about 10 different subjects I want to talk about, and that list is, growing a little bit about every week. And so I'm hoping to get that out there for everybody, when I'm able. Also, I'm gonna, play a session for y'all as soon as I can. I mean, not tomorrow, but I'm gonna play a session and try to record it, and hopefully it'll be within the laws and the rules of the community we're in. It's one reason I'm reluctant to do it, because I don't know all the rules and the guidelines of, recording and playing casino games, because they've changed a little bit since, I started becoming a content creator. So anyway, that's my journey on how I discovered the game of Baccarat. Couple other things I want to hit up with y'all real fast. Real quick update. As terrible as I am with European Roulette, I had a wonderful month of June. I had a very positive month of June, and I made somewhere around $800. Maybe a little bit more. I think I made a little bit more than $800 in June playing European Roulette. So I'm, I'm grateful for that. I'm very glad. I'm happy that June was a good month. June was a good month for me playing the game of European Roulette. And I'm hoping I can make July. I'm doing some of the simple, small fundamentals to try to make July a positive month for European Roulette. Because, that was my first love of the casino. And I'm striving to have a good month of it in June, not in July. Not an unreasonable month, but, just a plus, positive, a good month. No, it wasn't part of my blueprint to win $800, but, things happened, and I made some very logical, solid bets at the right times, and it cashed in really good for me. My goal was actually to make close to $10 a session, which I thought that was reasonable. And some sessions I made a good bit more than that because of the way some inside bets turned out. I gave myself some opportunities to win medium size. I'm not going to say big, because winning big is thousands and thousands of dollars. I didn't do that. I won medium. I did a few straight up bets along with some streets and splits, and I hit a few straight ups. I also did some dozens and columns mixed in, maybe one or two outside bets. But I mixed it up real good, and I played some good things at the right time. Hit my favorite number a few times straight up, about 2 times. I hit some other numbers I liked straight up a couple of times. It wasn't, the initial goal per se, but it was just me giving myself an opportunity to win. Giving myself a reasonable chance to win. I did some other bets along with the straight ups that, one of them hit, I could have stayed in the game. But when the straight ups hit, it had a nice return. And so it was an unexpectedly great surprise. But some of the other time I was hitting some streets and splits and outsides, and those are good too. Those are good as well. Well, okay, the last thing I want to hit up with y'all is, we got the 4th of July coming up very soon. We got the 4th of July coming up, and I want to say happy birthday. I want to say happy birthday to the United States of America, which is where I was born. I know all of you listeners and viewers were not born in America, but I'm just talking about, the holiday for my country. So yeah, I was born, in the United States, and a couple of days is going to be America's birthday. Yes, I could have been born anywhere else. I could have been somebody else. Life is so busy that it's hard to find time to sit and reflect on what could have been, what could have happened for the worse, and sometimes even the better. There's things we don't know. And some of it, no pun intended, is about the hand we're dealt. Some of it is that. But, ultimately, it's been a blessing to be born in the United States of America. Yes, America has problems. America has things they're fighting, they're working towards. I'll just say there's people in power that make mistakes. But that's on the back end. I have nothing to do with that. I know nothing about it. I just, you hear things in the streets, which is funny. Look where I'm parked. I mean, you hear things out in the street. You hear things on social media. You hear things people talk about that are on the news. You hear things in politics. You hear things out there. And I'll just say that I believe, some folks in power, they make mistakes, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Like I said, because all that is on the back end. That's not something the everyday person on the street can know everything about. And when you dig your nose in the wrong... here's a good lesson for y'all. When you dig your nose in the wrong things, when you are obsessed and you chase after the wrong things, it can cost you the quality of your life, up to and including it can cost you your life. When you put your nose where it don't belong. That does happen. Don't ask me how I know, just look around, use your common sense. Look at some news, look at celebrity stories, look at, tragic headlines. Things happen. It's sad, but what can we do about it? What can we do about it? But I also want to give a wonderful shout out. Hold on a second. I want to give a wonderful shout out to Benjamin Franklin. Yes, I want to give a wonderful shout out to Benjamin Franklin for inventing the United States of America. Our land is around, I say, 500 years old. I mean, this land was here way before that, but it was called something else. I mean, it was not called the United States of America. It was something else, which, you can get on Google, you can look up your, American history or world history, all that stuff. I mean, some of what I tell you may be a little off because I haven't been in high school in a very long time. But yeah, Benjamin Franklin invented these United States that we have. Not all of them, because when the country first started, there wasn't 52 states. There was like 13 or 15 of them. I mean, our country has definitely grown in its sphere of influence over the last 400 years. But yeah, I love how every time, I pull out $100 bill, I get to look at Benjamin Franklin and I get to say, you the man. You made a lot of things happen for us. This wouldn't have been possible without you. There were others, and they had their place as well. But I'm telling you, that Benjamin Franklin, damn it, he did a lot of wonderful things for us. And I'm grateful for him and what he did years and years before I was born. This was probably like in the 1600s or something. I mean, like I said, I haven't been to high school in a very long time, so, but some things, I mean, you never forget. And I'll never forget Benjamin Franklin on the $100 bill. I'll never forget Benjamin Franklin behind closed doors with his group coming up with the best rules and laws for our country that he could possibly think of. Coming up with, giving us the rights that we have or had. I know some people are trying to get rid of our rights, which that's on the back end, that's not on the front end. So I don't want to get too deep into that, but just, thank the God for Benjamin Franklin that he was here, that he did these things, and that he did the absolute best he could do to create us a wonderful country to live in. All right, everybody, have you a wonderful 4th of July celebration to all my American viewers. To everybody else born in other countries, thank you also for watching. Thank you for being a part of this channel and my content. And this is the Baccarat Coach signing off. And happy holidays and goodbye to all.